In the previous lecture, we started with the topic electricity. We saw the definition of current. Current is the rate of flow of charge through a conductor, or the flow of charge per unit time through a conductor is called the current. It is given by the formula I is equal to Q by T. Q is the charge, T is the time. It is measured in ampere. A current of 1 ampere is said to flow through a conductor when a charge of 1 coulomb flows through it per unit time. Then we saw the Ohm's law, which states that physical conditions of a conductor such as length, area of cross section and temperature remaining constant, current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to potential difference V across the conductor. Then resistance R is given by R is equal to V upon I. Resistance is defined as the opposition offered by the conductor to the flow of current. Resistance is measured in ohm. Then we saw that temperature of a conductor remaining constant, the resistance R of the conductor is directly proportional to its length L and inversely proportional to its area of cross section A. We saw specific resistance as the resistance of a conductor of unit length and unit cross-sectional area. Unit of specific resistance is ohm meter in SI system and ohm centimeter in CGS system. Now in this lecture we are going to see the combination of resistances. When resistances are connected in series or parallel, the effective resistance or resultant resistance of the combination. Resistances in series. Here we are going to find out an expression for the resultant resistance of resistances when they are connected in series. Here the figure shows resistances R1, R2 and R3 connected in series between points A and B. Let Rs be the resultant resistance or effective resistance of this combination between A and B. A potential difference V is applied across the combination between A and B. For a series combination from A to B, there is only one path for the flow of current. So when the key is closed, current I starts to flow from positive terminal of the battery to point A, and from A to B the current passes through R1, R2 and R3. Therefore, the current I is the same through each resistance, but the potential V splits into three parts depending upon the values of R1, R2 and R3. As shown in the figure, if V1, V2 and V3 are the potential drops across R1, R2 and R3 respectively, then we can write down V, the total potential, is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now applying the Ohm's law to resistance R1, resistance R2 and resistance R3 individually, for R1 the potential drop across R1 is V1 and the current through R1 is I. So we can write down V1 is equal to IR1. Similarly, for R2, we can write down V2 is equal to IR2, and for R3, V3 is equal to IR3. And for the resultant resistance Rs of the combination the potential drop across the combination is V and current through the combination is I. So total potential V is equal to I into Rs. So using Ohm's law, we can write down the expressions for each potential, and substituting these values, we get this expression. Now taking I common on the right hand side, we get this expression. I on both the sides will get cancelled. We get an expression for the effective resistance Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Now we can write down a general expression for the effective resistance Rs for n number of resistances connected in series. So the effective resistance Rs will be equal to the sum of all the n resistances connected in series. So from this we can state the law of resistances in series. The law of resistances in series states that the resultant of a number of resistances connected in series is equal to the sum of the individual resistances. Now let's see the second type of combination, resistances in parallel. The figure here shows three resistances R1, R2 and R3 connected in parallel. This parallel combination is between point A and B. A potential difference V is applied across the combination. When the key is closed, for a parallel combination like this, the potential difference V across each resistance is the same. But the current I flowing from the positive terminal of the battery, when it reaches point A, the current I splits through R1, R2 and R3. So let the current flowing through R1 be I1, current through R2 be I2 and current through R3 be I3. So that total current I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Now here again, using the Ohm's law for each resistance R1, R2 and R3, for R1, the potential drop across R1 is V and the current flowing through R1 is I1. So we can write down I1 is equal to V upon R1. Similarly for R2, current through R2 is I2, potential drop across R2 is V. So I2 is equal to V upon R2. And for R3, I3 is equal to V upon R3. If the effective or resultant resistance of this combination is say Rp between A and B, then for Rp the current through the total combination is I and the potential drop across AB is V. So we can write down I is equal to V upon Rp. Substituting these values in this expression, we can write down V upon Rp is equal to V upon R1 plus V upon R2 plus V upon R3. Actually it should be Rp, so read it as Rp. So V upon Rp is equal to V, taking common, into bracket 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So that 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3, as V on both the sides gets cancelled. So here the reciprocal of the resultant is equal to the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. If there are n number of resistances connected in parallel, we can write down a general expression for the n resistances connected in parallel. Now from this expression, we can state the law of resistances in parallel as the reciprocal of the resultant of a number of resistances connected in parallel is equal to the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. Okay, so in the next lecture we shall see the Wheatstone's network.